Welcome, welcome to Career Secrets Expert Interview, and welcome my good friend Atul Gera.
Hi, Edmund. Morning.
Thank you for joining us. Let's just dive into it, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for this great opportunity to share my experience and some of the thoughts that I've developed over the years in the career of sales. So your first point was, can I talk about a little bit of my career journey? This actually goes back to way back in grade 10 when I wanted to buy a cricket bat and my father said, go earn it. And I asked him, what does it mean? He says, go sell newspapers or do any other job, but buy a bat with your own money. I felt that was very awkward since he was making decent amount and we were so-called a good middle-class family in India. But nonetheless, I had to do that. As a result, I entered accidentally in the journey of sales. And then from there on, it became a very passion to talk to people, talk to unknown, and learn a few things. So I became more and more curious. Again, unknowingly, that became a very important aspect of being in sales. And rather than sales, I call this a journey of, building your own brand. Before you sell any product, you have to sell yourself as a personality to be accepted by the people in general, and more importantly, by the people that you want to do business with. That's how my career journey began. And then in the middle, I did many part-time jobs and eventually got into my MBA, and after MBA got into the corporate life. And thus began my career journey. So I worked directly or indirectly. I've worked in about more than 15 countries in the world, in across 8 industries, before finally settling down in the software industry in 2003 with a leading software firm, and learned unbelievable things over there, which have gone and beyond making me my success in terms of monetary or personality development. So it's been a significant journey. One thing I would always say is that I've never stopped learning. I'm 58 now. I've been since 1982, I've been working part-time from 82 to 91 part-time, and after that full-time. That's my little short career journey.
Excellent. That was brilliant as far as the branding is concerned, personal branding. Now for some fun, could you please answer the following question with an English accent, please?
Oh, absolutely. What are you looking for? Hey, man, I'm actually telling you, well, the biggest thing in the memorable in my career has been phenomenal, but very small, but very significant deal that I had in my life. I was working for a tier 1 logistics company, again, out of India and Netherlands. And I had to launch a new department in this, not a regular freight company, but it was a regular courier company. That was their core business. And fortunately or unfortunately, after 3.5 months of non-stop working with my sales team there, we closed a first deal ever to ship a freight shipment in the history of that organization. Perhaps the smallest amount you can actually think of, but the biggest satisfaction right over here. Right over here at head. Yes, that's my first ever memorable deal. I've done a lot of business prior to that, but that wasn't the core companies. This is in a tier 1 leading logistics company where they were launching a new freight department, and I was chosen to be the national manager for freight. So that's when I closed my first deal. I will always remember for the rest of my life.
How did you do it?
Well, you cannot do it alone. You have to be cohesive. You have to be integrating very well with your operations, with your drivers, with your sales team, with your commercial operations, with your finance and other departments, just to ensure that you're running. It's like running your own business. And that all little efforts, of course, the combined presentation to the customer, we call it the discoveries of the requirement of the value add we can bring to them. That is what we will do. So in 3 points: cohesive working, highlighting and delivering the value add to the customer while building the trust. Last but not the least, ensuring that what you promise you deliver.
Excellent. What do you do on the point of trust? I think it's very important, but what do you do for networking?
So, as I had mentioned earlier, you have to be a very personable, and you should have the right attitude with a positive personality in terms of the moment you meet, your eye contact, your body language, your handshake. That's your first aspect of networking. Positive communication without saying a word. Of course, then it goes whoever or whatever you come in contact with, are you following up with a complete plan, unplanned? But the most important aspect here is, are you following up to ensure that these people continue to be in your value add circle and vice versa? You can also add value to them. LinkedIn is important. It's for the masses. From the masses, then you can choose who actually would be more value add people to you. When people connect with people, people talk to people. It's not the product talking to a delivery, but initially people talk to people. People connect with people. People think rationally, justify rationally, but they connect and buy emotionally. That's the important aspect of networking that you will ever find. So social media, more than that, I will say personal one-on-one, simple communication tools like telephone, email, keeping in touch on a personal ground is very, very, very important.
So the personal connection.
Yes, absolutely.
You've been very successful. You have had a successful career. What motivates you the most over the years?
So when you say success, I've seen many failures also in my life. The idea is not away from a very simple thing. You fall, you get up, you run again. You fall, you get up, you run again. There has to be, I wouldn't say just complete, a blind, yes, I want to do that, I want to do that. No, you can have a plan, but unless you put a plan with hunger, hunger to succeed, hunger to contribute, and hunger always there to ensure that you're open to learning. The more you learn, I've seen it, the more I learn, the more broader my outlook goes. And when the broader the outlook goes, it helps me to be more humble and say, I've got a long way to go. That motivates me every day. I've got a long way to go.
Are you very competitive?
I am very competitive, whether at home or outside. I am a very competitive guy, but in a positive way. I shouldn't be that competitive that it takes over and destroys my personality in a negative reflection. And I will also accept where I'm weak. I will have to work that on.
Excellent. What do you think are the top qualities you need to be a successful salesperson?
So first of all, in my dictionary, I always say a salesperson should be a business unit. It's like you are the CEO of your own organization and you're running your own business. For my example, I as a salesperson, I call myself AGBU, which is Atul Gera Business Unit. That's what I want to work on. So your top qualities that I have learned is be consistent, be honest, first to yourself, and then in the right environment, in the right segment, to your customers, to your clients, to your colleagues. It goes a long way. I have learned honesty still is the best policy and it sells very well. However, just be sure it's with the right people at the right time and the right forum. Thirdly, before I forget, I think at any time you feel that you're learning something, pen it down. Have your little, go-to black book ready at any time. Pen it down with your own hand. It's only when you write it down that the message goes from your hand to brain and it kind of registers there for a long, long, long time. Things are changing constantly. Things are kind of getting integrated differently with the various technologies, with the various tools, but still your brain and your hand still talk the best.
Excellent. Do you have a mentor? And how did you find that mentor?
I've had many mentors in my life, directly or indirectly. But directly, I think my best mentor has been my father. Watching him execute on a daily basis. He's 88, and even today, he will sit down, he will prepare his breakfast, he will walk. So looking at that consistency from his never say die attitude, and also he being a complete leader in his own way to keep contributing to the family consistently and taking the ownership and responsibility is what I've always seen in him. For any professional success, that is your basic groundwork. Again, we go back to your previous question, qualities of salespeople. I would say quality of anybody at any stage, and then take it to the sales or business level is consistency, ownership, responsibility, time management. These are some of the key things.
For the young people out there, what would you give them as a piece of advice? How do they find a mentor?
Any person who is being sincere to you and guiding you, even if he or she is not guiding you directly, but you see a value in them, walk up, ask. Until and unless you ask, you will not get. You ask, you get, and then you connect. And any person, never ever give up on people who can actually add value to it. You have to identify what are you looking for, what kind of people can add value to you, and what are your efforts to not give that up. Simple. Please do that.
Excellent. The worst that can happen is a no, and then you move on.
And you see, even a no, it'll give you some thoughts to go back and say, why did that happen as a no? And that gives you an opportunity to go back and look at, do self-introspection and perhaps reach back to that person again. I've never seen, Wayne Gretzky improve or grow as a mentor overnight, available to anybody and everybody. They also want hungry, genuine disciples. So be open.
Great. Next question. What do you think is the best way to get into software or the technology or technology sales today?
Okay, so my experience was after having worked in 7 industries across 9 or 10 countries, 11 countries, and when I was promoted from India and promotion and the immigration came at the same time, I just happened to ask somebody in a party, what would it take for me to make that kind of money which you are making? He said, why don't you look at software and IT sales? I said, but I'm not a computer engineer. He said, no, they need people with the business acumen and the business and sales brain. I said, okay. So I got out of the comfort zone and I accepted that, only to understand that technology sales is so important, software technology sales, that knowingly or unknowingly, again, once again, I'm telling you these words, knowingly or unknowingly, it's up to you to identify and capitalize on that. You're already working with all the industries of the verticals of the world. For example, a software is in every industry, whether it's finance, whether it's transportation, logistics, banking, or you name or production, you name an industry or a vertical, software is required. But the communication that you carry on behalf of your organization to these prospects or clients is very, very important. So in a nutshell, if you really want to get into technology sales or software sales, make sure that you have a very rational approach, very diligent approach, but at the same time, you are open on learning on new and upcoming technology things every day. This industry, software and technology sales industry, will teach you how to be on your toes every day, how to be in touch with the customer's requirement every day, how to be beyond their imagination as well. I hope I was able to answer that.
So do you start by networking with the technology people in your LinkedIn?
I think first of all, you need to network with yourself. First, you network with yourself and you're satisfied. Then, of course, reach out to people. And it goes back to our earlier discussion, go reach out to people. Some of the key leaders, whether it's individual or organizations or even forums or user groups, and start learning, and you will see you will automatically get into software sales. So networking, again, is very important. Connecting with key people, key forums, and key organizations.
When you say network with yourself, do you mean knowing your strengths and weaknesses, knowing what kind of characters?
It's basically knowing that this is the industry, this is where I want to be, but at the same time, do I have the question and answer within me that what do I need to do? Once you're clear that, yes, this is a path you would like to explore, that's 80% of the battle won right over there.
Excellent. What is the most important piece of advice that you want to give to aspiring salespeople?
Have the art, which is art is right attitude, A for right attitude, R for relationship building. While building up these relationships, always have the base of T, which is the trust. Attitude, relationship, and trust. These are the three things which you can inculcate both in your personal front and in your professional front. Once you have the art of communication, understanding, getting into depth, and talking to people is just not one way. You need to have a proper professional relationship when they need you, when they don't need you. How do you act or react? How do you integrate just to ensure they're on top of your agenda of you are on top of their list. Whenever they want to reach out to the organization, let me reach out to you as an individual first, and then you will get them. And trust 100%. If you're genuine, sometimes bringing on, like a tough news to your client or your prospects is more valuable to their time and their aspirations and their path roadmap rather than just yours. Might be painful, but they will respect you in the long run and you will build a much stronger trust.
So building the trust. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you were to do it all over again, what would you change in your career?
I would be a little bit more diligent on my time management. And I would be a little bit more matured in taking some feedbacks coming from right people, which I kind of felt, oh, what does he know? I know him, know better than him. That was my ego came in between, and which was wrong. Over a period, I have learned, and with my experience, if I can share this with the youngsters, so be it. If I would change these primarily two things, yes, I think I would have made much more money, I mean, financially, but I would have been also a much better human being much earlier than what I am today.
That is so wise. Thank you. One more interesting question. A lot of young people that when they're thinking about sales, they're also thinking about marketing. So I don't know whether you have done anything in marketing, but you've obviously seen and worked with a lot of people in marketing. So between marketing and sales, what would you choose and what would you recommend our young people do?
Okay. So first of all, I think they're both cousins in certain way. And marketing, in my humble view, if you want to create various if you want to create various um, novelties which will ignite awareness, which you can take it to industry as a whole or market as a whole, and followed by with some core activities. Again, I cannot define marketing in just one sentence. It is much beyond that, much over that. But I would definitely take sales because it helps me to be my own CEO and it helps me to utilize marketing as a tool to make me successful. If you think sales or business is not for you, but you can continue to be creative and continue to work closely with sales, marketing should be your, path that you should go to. Again, people in digital marketing, they love it. They like to take the challenge of why your sales are low. They like to identify some pain areas and then correlate by coming up with the new ideas, being creative. And if it works, they get so much of satisfaction. I get satisfaction out of sales, reaching out to the customers while utilizing my organization's resources and marketing efforts. So it helps.
Excellent. So we've concluded the 10 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to add and tell our young people?
No, I think if I was in a time machine, if I could rewind time, I would listen to some of the seniors who come with vast experience and keep again, I'm repeating, I keep my ego aside, be open to learning, and continue to just be honest to myself. That's it.
Excellent. Well, thank you so very much, Atul.
No,
And
pleasure. All mine, Edmund. I've known you for nearly 2 decades. It's phenomenal to have, seen your success. Unbelievable. So please do tell your students to listen to you.
thank you. Until next time, this is Professor Edmund. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Thanks, Edmund. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.